Welcome to your Daily 5 for Wednesday, November 1st, 2023. I picked up Starfield, the recently released Bethesda game, about, I want to say it was 2 weeks after it came out. Yeah, something like that. I know I didn't get it on day of release, and I know I didn't pre-order it, but I waited because this is, I think, something smart. I've said this many times, that you should wait, let the game come out, watch the reviews, read the reviews, let the reviews settle a little bit, make sure there's no huge technical errors, and then read actual user reviews and see what people have said. And Starfield, in general, it didn't necessarily get rave reviews. I really didn't read too many reviews that said, oh, this is the greatest game ever made, which is good, because I kind of throw those reviews out. I never believe any reviews that say this is the greatest game ever made. I mean, even Baldur's Gate 3, which I really, Lando and I are having an absolute blast of a time with it. Would I call it the greatest game ever made? Not for me anyway, and that's the thing, is it's so subjective. There is no greatest game ever made. What's the greatest game ever made to one person is another person's utter waste of time. But the reviews were generally good. Didn't read about any serious bugs, no Cyberpunk 2077 nonsense type of thing. So I thought, okay, I like Fallout. This is being described by many people as Fallout, but space. And, as Elder Scrolls is Fallout, but fantasy, or I guess some people would say, no, it's Elder Scrolls, but nuclear wasteland. Fine, whichever way you want to go. It's the Bethesda formula applied to a different type of genre. So I picked it up, and I've been playing it. I looked at my Steam stats, and it says I've only played this game for 15 hours, and I feel like I've been playing it for 50. Now, that says something, because one of the problems I'm having with Starfield is I don't feel like there's really any reason to play it. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't dislike playing the game. I think that it works perfectly well. It's a nice looking game. The music's at times very good. The UI is outstanding. I can't wait to get an art book of this game. I'll be honest. I think I'm going to enjoy the art book 1,000 times more than I'm enjoying the game so far. But the game itself, especially for a game that was, kept talking about, oh, you can go anywhere. You can explore any planet that you can see, blah, 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 and all that stuff. No Man's Sky type material. But No Man's Sky, for all its faults, and there were many at the beginning, it has been very, very well refined since the release date. It does feel like when you land on a planet, you don't really know what you're going to get. And there is a sense of there could be anything on this planet. When I land on planets in Starfield, which is what I've been doing primarily, because the mission doesn't even feel that urgent to me. In fact, I've kind of forgotten what it is. I know there is something I'm supposed to be doing to progress the main storyline, and I'm sure, of course, it's in the menu. I can go look it up. But I don't feel any type of drive to do that. That's not necessarily bad, but I can't remember what it is because I've been landing on planets. The problem is, most of the planets are utterly empty, and many people have pointed this out. This is not me having some revelation. I've seen many commentaries and YouTube channels where they've talked about the fact that much of Starfield is nothing. And I think that's a problem, because if you're going to encourage people to explore and to jump to planets and land on them and see what's there, you have to have more going on the planets. And I know that somebody will say, well, they're representing what space is. There's a lot of just dead rocks floating out there. Okay, but I'm not playing a game for accuracy, or at least this game was not sold on its spatial accuracy in terms of a dead universe. This is supposed to be an adventure game. If you watch the trailers, you're not seeing a lot of wandering around on empty planetoids where there's nothing to do but pick up precious metals. You're seeing, combat, and you're seeing weird things, and you're exploring and all that. And there are those moments. I have had them. I don't want to say I don't think Starfield is a bad game, but it's a game that seems to lack some compelling reason to do one of the foundational things that it wants you to do, which is explore. I'm sure if I just stuck to the main quest, that would be perfectly fine. And I probably will end up doing that. I think at some point, pretty soon, I'm just going to give up on exploring planets because it doesn't seem like there's much reason to. And again, I'm not saying that makes it a bad game, but it's strange because the way this game was positioned, which of course a lot of it was marketing, and we knew it wasn't going to be as big as it said it was, or at least not as big as it said it was in the way that it was showing it was. And that's obviously where we are. It is not that every planet is packed with things to do. It is, in fact, that many of these planets are big, blank, empty spaces. And again, whether that is realistic to the actual universe or not, it doesn't necessarily make for a compelling experience. So, yeah, I really couldn't believe that I'd only played 15 hours. It really felt like more than that. So Starfield, I'd be curious if any of you are playing. Does this suddenly change? Does something pick up? Does the game shift? Or is this what it is? That's not necessarily bad. It's just not quite what I was expecting. Later.